Micky, we're only 8 games into the season, so it's early days, but I know you won't be overjoyed with the points returned so far, but as is quite often the case, it has been a big turnover of players during the summer, and it does take time for everything to try and gel together, doesn't it?
Yeah, but we would be expecting to pick up more results than what we have, but we're maybe at a place where we believe we'd be further ahead than what we are, in terms of the group as well. We've got a lot of work to do, but certainly the want is there. We want to get better. We know we have to improve in certain areas, so we just got to keep working forward. That's all we can do. We said at the start of the season it was going to be about building again for the future, and that's what we've done. We've recruited and done that, but what we never knew at the start of the season is where we were going to be on that continuum, like where we were going to be, and we're obviously not where we would like to be, but we're working hard to try and put it right. That's all we can do. I've got the energy and desire to want to do that, and I know that we need to win games. That's what football's all about, is winning games of football. But we showed good signs on Tuesday night, certainly after we scored against Bradford, who we've always got to bear in mind they're a heavily invested team, so they'll probably picking from a different place than what Tranmere will be. But I think for certainly the second half we showed good signs of being a decent team. There's stuff that we need to learn very quickly, but we're working hard to try and move that forward.
If the desire and the hunger is enough to satisfy you, that will get you part of the way. Is this group, are they good students in terms of being able to take in and apply what you want from them?
Well, time will tell that, won't it? We need to win games, but certainly with the experience that we have as coaching staff, we know how you can try and get that into the group. But listen, it's a work in progress. Regardless of anything else, when you're starting from where we started from, it's always a work in progress. That will never change. It's just how quickly you can move forward and win more games, and that's what it's about now. But that's what I'll continue to try and do. Trust me, nothing will move me from my thinking and how or where we're at and what we have to do to do that. And I will always be here for the players and the football club, always, in order to try and do my job the best way that I can with what I've got in the building to try and win games of football. Nothing will stop me from doing that until I was told otherwise anyway, but I'll just keep working hard, and same as the players, the environment's good, it's a learning environment, and we're in again today working hard on things that we believe we have to learn from Tuesday night.
The results overall haven't been what you'd expect, what you'd want, but do you see enough day-to-day training-wise to give you encouragement for what lies ahead?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of talent in the group, but what maybe it doesn't have is Football League experience. There's players in there with a lot of experience, but there's also ones in there who are brand new. So we're having to sort of bear that in mind as well, especially myself, because you can be impatient and you can get frustrated with things, but you have to understand it takes time, and it's going to take time. It's just as simple as that. That's not even we're looking for excuses or anything like that. That is, the reasons are these processes of people becoming football league players takes time for maybe to go and do that, and it's taken a wee bit longer than what we thought, but we're building on it all the time.
Salford to come this weekend, they're well positioned in the table. I know that the away games have been troublesome for you, but you only need one result for that to start altering.
We have to just keep building. That's what we have to keep doing. We would be the first to admit that we want to win more games. But we have to understand I keep saying this, we have to understand the situation the football club is in. We're playing Salford on Saturday, who are another massively heavily invested football club. We're not shopping in the same talent pool, we're going somewhere else to try and grow a team. That's more difficult. So we try to grow teams out of either under 23 players or like Ellie Nevitt or non-league teams, and trying to make them competitive. So it's going to take time. Looking forward to the game. We have matched teams we more or less played against for large spells. What we need to do that now is do that over 90 minutes, or do that from the start, and don't deal like we did on Tuesday night, lose a goal from a set play after 3 minutes. That makes it very difficult. But we just got to keep going. That's not even lazy talk. It is what it is. It's the boys that were recruited were young or didn't have great experience in the Football League. We know it was going to take time, and we've just got to keep going with that and keep pushing them on and keep the learning going. Just keep it moving forward. Saturday's another opportunity for us to go and try and do that.
And you've been in the game long enough as a player, as a manager, at different levels, to know that you've got to ride through the bad times, the ordinary times, the good times. There will always be a challenge.
Yeah, but trust me, it's not about me. It's not about me. It's about me trying to get a group of players pushed forward for Tranmere, to make Tranmere grow with assets, if you like, and trying to make them move forward. But that's going to take time. As I keep saying, it's going to. It's just the way it is. But I knew that. Nobody's told me any differently what happened. When I first came back, the chairman told me what was going to happen, and I had a choice to make. Did I want to do that? Did I want to do the project that he told me was going to happen? And did I think that I could be a part of that? And absolutely, yeah, I did. So nobody's told me anything I never knew. But also, I understand when I did decide to take it on, I knew it was going to be difficult, and I knew there was going to be periods where maybe we weren't winning as many games as what we are used to or what we like. But we're going to go a different way of doing that. Nothing's changed. I'm not telling anybody anything that's new. So all I try to do is grow a group of players, young players, rather than go the other way where we were just building teams. We were bringing players who were going to do well for this season. We were going to try and build players that were going to do well for the season, but also become an asset for the football club, because that's what the football club has to do, is try and generate revenue from other streams, and one of them we wanted to do was from the playing staff. And you do that, you go into the under 23s and you try and find some potential and grow it. So nothing's changed. So this week's been pretty much the same, about trying to make them better, working on the mentality, and just keep them moving forward as a group. Saturday's another opportunity for us to try and do that. Yep, absolutely. I know that we want to win games of football and away games and all the rest of it. But we just have to keep trying to move the group forward in order to try and give ourselves a chance of doing that.
Squad-wise, how are things looking? That was a real blow for Pal Gratzel, wasn't it? Coming off the bench, and then is it a hamstring?
Yes, he's looking like. I'm only telling you what I've been told, so I'm not jumping ahead with news that I haven't been told that he'll need another operation. So he's probably done it as bad as what he could probably do it. So he's got to go through that again. Paul, so with thoughts or with him, I sent my text just to say I'll give him a phone call. In terms of us, it's a big blow as well, because he was another young player that we wanted to have in our group and was growing and getting better, and now we're not going to get the opportunity to do that. It kind of puts us back into a place where we haven't got an awful lot of competition at that end of the pitch. But like I say, I have to get on with that and do the best we can in order to try and win games.
Any other ins and outs, injury-wise?
Nolan won't be available for the weekend. He's still trying to get over a bit of a hamstring, and then the other long-term injuries will still be out. Kieran will come back into things. He's trained today and he'll train tomorrow, but he's not quite match fit, so we're having to juggle that as well. So he'll come onto the bench, all being well, and hopefully we can give him some time in the game to try and build on his fitness. But he's a fit boy anyway, but so that we give him a chance of sustaining and being able to be available for us. We don't want to rush him in too fast and then get him injured again. That's certainly what we don't want to do, so we'll stage his introduction back into things again, but it'll probably start with him being on the bench at the weekend. Alright.
How was the atmosphere in training this morning when you came in? Obviously the Bradford result, the way it happened was heartbreaking, really.
They obviously, we don't like losing games, but like I've just said, it's a real learning time, and I know that people will get frustrated when we keep saying that, but that's the truth. That's where it's at. Me as an experienced manager understands that, and we are going up against a lot of clubs that are in a different situation financially, so it's hard somebody to break that, to bridge that gap. But we understand that. So what we have to try and create, like when you say we come in this morning, it's about kind of going over wee bits of what they've been learning since they first came here, and then I kind of react into the game and things that we thought that we could do better. So we're learning about the group all the time. So there were certain things that we felt that we had to show them this morning in order to for us to become a better team. So the atmosphere, yeah, they disappointed because we lose. We don't like losing games, and that's not something that we want to get used to here. We absolutely understand that. But what we've got to do is understand that, yeah, we didn't want to lose, but why did we lose, and what do we think we can do better, and how are we going to do that, and then we would just input that today, either with the video work or out there in the grass. So that's all we've done today. So very quickly you've got to try and move them on and now switch the focus to Saturday.
And how good have they been at doing that, switching the focus straight away rather than dwelling on other results?
Yeah, you need to ask them that, but we don't allow it, because we would quickly have them in. Boom, this is what we could have done better, here's how we could have done it, and on the grass, away we go, and then quickly got to shift your focus again, because you know what it's like. Saturday, Tuesday, you don't get the opportunity to do well anyway, so you have to move on very fast. So no, they would move on very quickly. That's what footballers do. They'll now put that behind them and move forward. What we as a coaching staff's got to do is make sure that they move on with lessons learned, and hope that they get into the next game better players for the lessons that they learned from the last game.
Yeah, and the first goal that Andy Cook scored on Tuesday came from another set piece. It seems to be a recurring problem so far this season. Is it something to do with the new defensive system that is going on, or is it just the new players, or what's going on there?
No, but we haven't done anything any different. We knew the threats of Bradford because of obviously of Cook. We just didn't do the jobs that we were told to do before, and we spoke about that this morning. Certain people are in areas positioned to do certain jobs, and we, either that's picking up or zonal or whatever, they just didn't do their jobs, and so early into the game is obviously disappointing, because you should be fresh, and it should be fresh in your mind what's just been told to you just before you go out for kick-off. So that was disappointing. And then of course then, I don't know how many teams have practiced being 1-0 down after 3 minutes and before games. The whole game has changed then. But what we've got to do is pretty much do what we did, and that's like we did after half time, was up to tempo and really got right into them, but then give away another cheap goal. But we've got to keep at it, keep practicing it. It is disappointing for us as well. Trust me, we get disappointed. We're not immune to disappointment. We can get frustrated and angry as well. But what we've got to do is it's not about us, as I keep saying it. We've then got to go back to the players and say, right, look, this is week we should have done better there, and because it is about the players, because they go out and perform, and we've got to make sure that they're ready to do that.
Yeah, definitely. And this season it almost seems like a carbon copy of the start of last season as well, because it did start slowly last season and a big new cohort of players then as well. But does that show that fans should have a bit more patience when it comes to waiting for these results? Because last season shows that it can build into something that was formidable in the middle part.
I've been here before where you go, Mellon asks for patience and all that. I'm not going to go down that road. I understand fans want to win games. They want to see teams performing, and I do too. But what I understand as the manager is the stage that the group's at and where we've recruited from. And I understand from working from every day and the evidence in the games that I've worked in of where they need to improve and how I believe I can do that with them and how I can make them better. With all due respect to the supporters, don't really get affected by their quite rightly disappointment or frustration. I've been in the game a long time now, not to know that that's nothing to do with me, as in, because it's not my job to feel their disappointment and let it affect me. My job here is for their players, is to support their players and make them the best they can be. So with all that due respect thing, I just got on with my job, and that's to try and make a group of players improve, get better, win games and play the type of football that Tranmere want to see. But as I say, and I'll keep going back to, I understood the job before I came here, and I understood the difficulties that would come with that before I've never been told anything any different. I knew that recruitment wise, that we were going to be shopping in a different shop with a smaller basket than a lot of the football clubs in this league, but we wanted to do things differently, and we believed, and still do, very very much so, that bringing younger players or players out of non-league with less experience but hunger and all the rest of it, and trying to grow something and like I said, bring together, maybe build some assets for the football club that it can sell and create this team that undoubtedly we all want to see, me included, by the way, because I stand at the side and watch as well. So when people shout things and they say, well, I see it, yeah, I see it as well as everybody else, and I know how it should have been done, and yeah, like same as everybody else. But it is what it is. So I will always position myself right here for the players, making them better, trying to create a team that wins games of football and try and create some assets for the football club, and that's what I'll continue to do here without, trust me, any kind of distractions or anything like that. I understand disappointment, I get that, because everybody wants to win, they pays their money and all the rest of it and comes, but I look at it and I go, I'll try and build towards that.